Hey tribe, excuse me. Go ahead and hit that subscribe and that like button, and let's get into this Drag Race season 10, episode 5, I think. Sorry. Okay, so of course we start the episode where the last episode left off with the elimination of Mayhem, and the girls are kind of giving it to Monet about her drag. You know that it's just not that polished. It's like her lip sync is great, but her drag is hit or miss. So okay, and then we move into the mini challenge, and the mini challenge was a game, which of course they hyped it up to make you think it was gonna be Snatch Game, but because it showed you the previews and you knew it was a Snatch Game, it was like all right, but it was something you can feel or something like that, and they had to sit on an item and figure out what the item was. And they had a fax machine, an eggplant, a cake, piece of fish, a pork chop, stuff like that. And the girl that got the most correct won the game. So the person that got the most correct was Asia. And so the maxi challenge, she won something. Anyway. So the maxi challenge was that they all had to create their own panel for Dragcon. I love how Ru brands herself and how she had these girls doing her videos and all that stuff for her brand. But it's cool. Dragcon is actually on my bucket list. I am going next year, I believe. I'm going to try my best to get there. But it is on the bucket list. But anyway, so at first I wasn't really feeling it because I was like, that sounds stupid. But it actually turned out to be pretty good. So they broke into 3 teams. And they got to actually choose their own team. So that's why I said Asia didn't really, she didn't win, like get to choose a team or anything. They got to choose their own teams. So one category was wigs, one category was makeup, one category was body. Nobody really wanted to choose Monet, because she'd been in the bottom for the last couple of weeks. They'll never want to choose Eureka because she's the big girl and she's loud. And then Cameron, who is quiet, but Cameron has been sneaking up on these bitches, and I don't know why they not recognizing that. But the 3 of them end up in a team together because Eureka was like, I looked around and of course nobody was coming to me to be in their team, and I looked and saw that, Monet and Cameron were kind of just standing around too. So they ended up in a team and they chose body. Perfect. Perfect. Because they had all options. Eureka, the big girl. Monet's the thick girl. And then Cameron, the muscular girl. So I was like, okay, this is going to be hit or miss for them. Either they're going to knock this shit out the park or it's going to want. Because it's a ready-made team. So that was the first team. And then we had, for the wig team, was the Vixen, Belair St. Clair, and Cracker. Then we had the makeup team, which was Asia, Monique, and Cameron. Asia, Monique, and Aquarian. Alright, so those are your teams. So they showed them working in the workroom, and of course Eureka is doing what Eureka does. She's taking over. She has all the suggestions. But her thing was, look, I done been to Dragcon, and I have actually sat on panels, so I'm telling you what I know. Excuse me. So Eureka is going to be the moderator for their group. And they actually did something that I thought was perfect. Was they came up with their own tagline. And their tagline was, and I wrote it down because I don't know why I thought I was going proportionizing, which one is not a real word, but they turned it into a word. They gave it a definition, and they constantly referred to it in their panel. And so it was genius. And I knew it was genius when they came up with it. I was like, again, it's going to be hit or miss. Either you're going to have to just proportionize the hell out of your shit, or it's going to fall flat because you're going to introduce it, but you're not going to follow through with it. So I was like, okay, they are working this shit out. Now, mind you, they were getting on everybody's nerves in the workroom because they were like proportionizing. But oh well. Because they had a gimmick, they had a concept, they had a brand. So I was like, all right, either we're going to So I said we're gonna see what we do with this. The makeup team. You had people on the makeup team who could beat the hell out their face. Because I meant to mention that in my last review for last week that I loved Asia's makeup. Like, I thought her makeup was gorgeous. And I thought her makeup tonight was gorgeous. And of course, we know that Cracker can do the hell out of some makeup. And Monique, okay, you know. And so I said, well, and what Rue cautioned them against was not being too sterile with it. Like, you guys do know makeup and you know how to do makeup well, but don't turn it into a college lesson. You know what I mean? Like, you don't people want to still have fun and laugh while they're learning. So okay, that was her little tidbit for them. Then we had the wig team. Now, the first thing Rue says to them is, okay, what kind of wigs you guys going to work with? You going to work with human hair or synthetic hair? And that was your first clue that they were kind of like, well, I think synthetic. Okay. And I don't know what it is about Vixen and the teams that Vixen's on that it seems like they don't want to rehearse or practice or have a script. It's like they want to just go off the cuff. And you would think she's been critiqued on that a couple of times at this point, and you would think that she would be a little more conscious of saying, okay, let's have this shit straight. Like, I want to know who's saying what, when, where, and how. But again, it was a real loosey-goosey thing. And they were concerned about Blair. Like, the team was like, well, we don't know about Blair. She's real quiet. She don't seem to be, jumping into the whole thing too good. So that was how the panel was. I mean, that was like the workroom. So the team that went first was the body team. They knocked that shit out the park. Like, I didn't even see the other two teams, but I was like, they can't top this. Like, that's how I felt. I was like, they can't top this. Of course, they did their proportionizing. I loved everybody's look. I thought that Eureka looked good. She had this blue hair that had like the dark roots. Her makeup had and then she had this blue bodysuit. I thought she looked good as hell. Like, I loved her look. I absolutely loved her look. Then we had Cameron and Monet. I mean, I told you guys that already. What I liked was that they each told their own body story. And with each one, they knew their body. Like, Cameron went on to explain her body and how, she works out and how she purposely wanted to have that superhero type body where it's real muscular and ripped up top, and then it kind of flares, a little at the bottom, give her a little definition in the leg and that kind of thing. And she said it was very purposeful in her working out. And she even went on to kind of explain what she does as she's getting into drag to soften her body a little bit and accentuate that. And she had her hip pads and she showed everybody the hip pads and that kind of thing. Monique talked about how she has a booty, but she don't have no breasts. And so she talked about what she did, and she actually demonstrated how she uses old pantyhose to stuff to the side and push them over. And she actually showed herself doing it and showed how she did it. Well, of course, we got to Eureka, and Eureka's thing was, look, I'm a big girl, and as a boy, I just look like a big old marshmallow. But as a woman, I am a goddess. Like, she was like, I turned that into my magic, for lack of a better word. And she told her story, and again, she showed how she cinched and gave herself a shape, even though she was still a big woman. And I was like, okay. And for me, they could have stopped right there. Because I was like, that is good. Like, they did a good job. Like I said, each one went down the panel and gave a tip. But then they had a pit crew guy, which I thought was cute because each team added to what the last team did. So by the time all three teams went, the pit crew guy was in full drag. And I thought that was a really cute concept as well. So they had him put on the hip pads and had him do all the tricks with the breast and the hip pads and stuff. And then they put a dress on him and had him, walk and sashay. And I was like, okay, he looks good. Again, you showing me how it works and what it looks like when you do it. Cool, looks good. Again, they could have stopped right there as far as I was concerned. But then they took questions from the audience, and the question was, it was a political question, and it said, in these day and times, why is drag important, or something to that effect. And Eureka answered the question, and Eureka gave a really great answer. And she was like, in this day and age, drag queens are scared, because basically they're being attacked. Gay men are being attacked. And she said how, drag just makes everybody feel good. And even people who are not gay or whatever, they like drag queens and they want to see us win because right now everybody's afraid. And I was like, bitch, y'all won. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it was just perfect. So then the next team came, and it was the makeup team. And they did well. I'm not going to front. They did well. My criticism with them was it was too much going on. Again, they had each girl tell their makeup story, which was, good. And then each girl did something that they were good at. So Monique did her contour, the highlight, the cheek highlight, and that's what she actually did on the model, on the pit crew model. And then y'all, Asia did her eyelashes, and she showed, how she put the glue on and her little tricks with the eyelash. And then Aquaria did her lipstick, the lips. Well, while they kept doing that back and forth thing, so while one person, like when Asia was letting the glue dry and all of that, then they went over to Blair, and then she was doing something, and then while she was doing that, they went back. They were like, okay, well, while she's working on that, let me show you this. Well, while she's working on that, let me show you this. It was a lot. And it was like, you know what I mean? But they gave some great tips. Again, they showed you how to do it, and it wasn't expensive stuff. Like, I mean, I'm sure that I'm sure the product they use is expensive, but the tips that they gave you were tips you could use for anything, even if you use cheap product, which. So I was like, okay, cool. They did good. But again, to me, they didn't top the first team. So then the third team were the wigs, with the hair. Now, this is the area, for me, I need the most help with. As y'all can tell, I'm not a big makeup person. I'm going to give you some lip. I'll give you a little foundation. I very seldom do eye, only because I wear glasses and I'm blind. And I just feel like behind my glasses you don't see a whole lot. But depending on where I'm going and what I'm doing, I'll give you some eye. And I'll play around with my eyebrows a little bit. But I'm not a makeup person. I'm not one of those people that gets fully done up before I leave the house every day. That's just who I am, But I've never been a wig person. Like, I know makeup tips. I have friends who do makeup who've shared things with me, who, that kind of thing. But I've never been a big wig person, so I was like, oh, okay, I'm about to learn some tricks, Like, for example, I don't know the difference between synthetic and, like, I know what it is. I know the difference between synthetic and human hair, like, what it is. But I don't know the pros and cons of it. Like, I don't know why you would choose one wig over the other. Like, which wig is better for this, or which wig is better for that. Like, I don't know those tricks. I don't know the glue tricks. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. I've worn wigs before, but like for a one day type thing. Like, okay, I'm gonna throw in a wig, and I'm taking it off when I come home. Like, I've never done the whole glue and the wig stays on for a week type situation. I think I might try it though. So anyway, with all that being said, that was the team I was kind of most anticipating seeing the tricks. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, the body team, yes, I'm a big girl, and I know there's certain things I can and can't do, and I know there are things, those tricks that I could do to make my body look a certain way, or what have you, to accentuate, what I got to accentuate. But I'm never going to wear hip pads. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a drag thing. Well, in my opinion, that's a drag thing. So again, I'm off, but I was looking forward to the wigs. They gave me nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing. I mean, less than nothing. Even when the audience asked questions, the guy asked, the guy was like, for a baby, drag queen like myself, somebody that's just starting off, what can you do that would help me, with make my wigs better or whatever. And their answer was, yeah, well, never just take the wig off and put it straight on. I mean, there are definitely things you should do before you take the wig, before you put a wig on after you take it out the bag. But they never told you what those things were. I'm waiting. I got my pen and paper like, okay, what should you do? When you take it out the bag, what you going to do first? Oh, okay. They never did that. And then it was another thing where they were like, well, we have some tips of things you should always do with your wigs or things. But they never went there. Like, and then they were being real catty and nasty to each other. Like, again, and it's funny because almost everything I was thinking, they got, were the critiques all the way down the line. Like, I knew who was going to win. I felt like I knew who was going to win fan favorite. I felt like I knew what the critique was going to be of the bottom. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like I had it all. Like, I knew everything that was going on, which was a good thing because I told y'all sometimes me and the judges don't agree and I don't get it. And I'll be like, what are they saying that I'm not saying? But tonight we were on the same page. I think probably 99.9% we were on the same page. So they were catty. They were kind of yeah at each other, and it wasn't funny. It came off really mean and nasty, and most of them were geared towards Blair. So, of course, I was like, all right. I felt like that was gonna be something that was gonna be talked about. So then, again, like I said, they didn't give me anything. So then we had the runway, and the runway was hats. It was some, they had a title for, but basically it was wear your best hat. I liked Cameron's hat. She gave you some Lady Gaga swirling hat. It was like a swirling thing. It was cute. Monet gave you Church Mother. Okay, it was cute. RuPaul said it was giving her some Shirley Ralph tees, and I could definitely see the Shirley Ralph. But for me, the winner, I loved Eureka's look. Loved, it was like what's that pattern? Oh shit. It's not a checkered pattern. That's not what it's called. Anyway, but it was a black and white. It's not called checkered. Damn it. I'm gonna remember as soon as I leave this video. I'm gonna remember. But anyway, it was a bodysuit, even down to the gloves, but everything was connected. And then she had the hat to match. I just thought her look was everything. She did the damn thing for me. But for me, the winner was Asia. She had this globe, this ornament thing, and I just thought it was gorgeous with her makeup. I wasn't crazy about the dress she had on, like her look. I wasn't crazy about because first of all, I didn't feel like that matched her outfit. Her makeup matched the globe thing she had, but I didn't feel like her dress did. But I loved it. I loved the hat. And to me, if it were just the hat challenge, I felt like she would have won. And Rue even kind of said something on the runway to let her know, Asia, you did good this week. Like, she took me back to the Tweety Bird look. Like, okay, a little avant-garde, a little out of the box, but you worked it. So, like I said, the judges pretty much agree with everything I just said. So basically take what I said and put it with the judges. You know what I'm saying? So the winning team were the body team, which was Mayhem, Eureka, and Cameron. So they were on top. So Mayhem went from 2 weeks in the bottom, having to lip sync for her life, to being in the top. And I was like, you deserve it. You did the damn thing tonight. And then the bottom was the wig team. So it was Vixen, Blair St. Clair, and Cracker. Whew. So we learned a few people's backstories tonight. You know how they always kind of give you a little insight into the backstories. So while they're in the workroom, we find out that Monique is always doing that quick, cheap drag because she's like, I don't really have the money that the other queens have. And so, but I make it work. All right, cool, Monique. Shoot. I ain't like her outfit tonight because she talking about something. It was giving you Church Mother, and she had like a bodysuit with some shimmery shit. And I was like, you won't walk up in my church with that on, showing off. Now, again, like I said last week, it might be somebody's church. It ain't mine. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm sorry. That was a different show, a different video. I said that. I said that about Real Housewives of Potomac. My bad. But yeah, same thing though. That ain't my church. With that being said, the other backstory, I'm sorry, Monique also gave us an insight on the fact that her family doesn't really know she does drag, like her parents, I'm sorry, and that she comes from a, no, I'm sorry, That's Mayhem, whose family doesn't know. Her family knows, but her parents don't know. And she was raised by an aunt and uncle, and they don't know. They've seen pictures of her in drag, and she lied her way out of it, said it was a full movie role. I guess she was in the latest Tyler Perry, movie. And then in Untucked, we find out about Monique's backstory, where she went to seminary school, and she's actually been struggling with her sexuality and her spirituality, which of course is an age-old story that we've seen played out. But she kind of gave you a little insight into that. So it came down to y'all, the best. Let me tell y'all something. The best part of my night was Vixen's fucking face when they told her her ass was going to lip sync for her life. Sure. Face crack. And I was here for it. Why? Because I can't stand Vixen's ass, and I've been waiting for her to be on the bottom, and I've been waiting for her to have to lip sync. And the lip sync was boring. It was her and Blair St. Clair, and the lip sync was boring, but of course, Vixen did the damn thing. She rolled around on stage and did a couple of death drops, and so, she stayed. So Blair St. Clair went home. But I'm going to end the video on this. Blair St. Clair shared some things with us tonight. I'm going to be as sensitive about this as I can be. I felt like there was some editing involved because I didn't understand how we went from her critique to her telling us that story. Like, to me, there was no connection. But in that moment, for whatever reason, she felt like I'm sorry, Eureka was the winner. She was also the fan favorite. But I felt like in that moment, she felt the need to share. And she shared about her being raped at a college party. I'm going to say this. I'm kind of glad that Blair was sent home tonight. Blair needs counseling. Seriously, real talk, no jokes, no bullshit. Last week, we saw the moment where Blair talked about how she didn't love herself and how she put on the fronts that she puts on because she doesn't love herself. And then you couple that with tonight, what she shared with us tonight about the rape and how she hasn't really fully processed it, and this was the first time she's even telling anybody about it. And you choose to come out to the world, which people do that all the time. I remember when now I can see her face but can't remember her name, but shit. Anyway, she shared that she was HIV positive, and that was something that people didn't know. So I understand that that's what people do, and it can be therapeutic for people. I think that Rue was as sensitive in how she handled it. I feel like the girls were very supportive and sensitive in how they handled it backstage during Untucked. But I think it was time for her to go home because I think she needs to really learn to love herself and really move it. That's just my opinion. And again, there are no MD letters behind my name, but that's just my opinion from the outside looking in. So I that's where I am with it. But I thought it was a great episode. I liked the way it went down. Like I said, for once I actually agreed with the judges, so I liked the way everything fell out. I liked the fact that Eureka won. She won 2 weeks in a row. She was the first person this season to do that. Monique threw some shade. I ain't really dig deep into that, but we're going to see where that comes back. But Monique said that she felt like she had to lessen her shine so that she didn't overstep her teammates. We're going to see where that goes. Because Asia was kind of giving her the side eye like, bitch, please. So, yeah, I liked the episode. I thought it was great. So, y'all, drop it in the comments. Tell me what you think. Have a good day. I said have a good day. Have a good day. Good evening. Peace.